So if you haven't met Mason, he's gonna come and talk about Nomad Brew. And if you haven't seen he has a trailer, not a business or a storefront, it's a trailer. So, take it away, Mason.
So yeah, my name is Mason Fox. I graduated from Carl Junction here in 2020. So I'm 20, almost 21. But I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to kind of get some advice from people that have gone through this, because I'm very new. I opened up in December of 2021. So I'm open to any and all feedback. So yeah, so I graduated here from Carl Junction 2020. I go to Missouri Southern right now. I'm a finance major. I've got one more year left, 2 semesters. I'm taking an online class right now this summer, just started. And then on the side, I also mow some lawns for Adams Lawn Care. I didn't put that in there, but I'm a tennis coach now as well for Carl Junction. And yeah, that's been awesome. I really enjoy it. I played tennis in high school, and there's a good opportunity, so I took it. I also attend Forest Park, and that's been a huge part of my upbringing as well. Gone on several mission trips. This one was to California. It was super cool. We got to help out with local community, planning a church. But that was awesome. Alrighty, so this is just kind of about what got me started on the idea of a coffee trailer. So I noticed like doctors and wanting to get like coffee for their nurses, and I've heard them say like by the time we get 30 drinks over to our office, they're cold, or the iced coffees are watered down. And I was like, hey, I mean, that seems like a good option for that, because we're able to bring all our equipment there, make it fresh, make it hot, and we've got really good feedback from it so far. So yeah, I found a trailer on Marketplace. I kind of rushed into it. I mean, it's a good deal, but with Marketplace, you never know when something's going to be gone. So I found a good deal. I went ahead, pulled the trigger, I bought it, and I figured, it's an asset. I can sell it if I don't use it. So that was my mindset there, but it ended up working out. I planned on doing it by myself initially. I announced my opening date, then I got my school schedule, and I had to take 2 classes in person. So I had to have someone help me out. So that was not it's fine, but it wasn't ideal. I wanted to be in there all the time with my business, but it ended up working out. But I got some equipment. I bought like all used equipment, so this thing is built pretty cheap. I mean, I don't have a lot of capital into the trailer, but it all worked. I got really lucky with the good used equipment. I cleaned, painted, did all that by myself. And we started out over in front of Harps in Airport Drive, and there's a dispensary there it used to be called SMA Wellness. Now it's Burt's, but that's where we are right now. And so I attached some pictures of some of the progression that made. It's kind of hard to see. The first picture there is, I didn't have any pictures of the before of the inside, but it was dirty, empty, nothing in there. And then the next picture over is all the equipment installed. You can see there's so much space in there, it's amazing. And then in the summer we added an air conditioner unit. Yeah, we added an air conditioner unit, so that cut that about half. And then when it was really busy, we started out, there were 2 or 3 of us in there. Yeah, it was tough. It still is tough, but it's better. And then the next progression picture was interesting. It was, I don't know, there's like possums and it's painted bright yellow. But yeah, I like what we were able to do with it. Kind of a more mocha color, coffee oriented, I felt like. So that's kind of where it started and where it is now. And so for our products, we like to, really emphasize lattes as our main drinks. And we do iced lattes, hot lattes. And so a latte is just espresso with milk, if you guys aren't sure what that is. And so it's easy to make it consistently because it's the same for every drink. We just add different flavors to it, which allows us to add, a lot of items to our menu because there's so many different flavors with it. And then we also have blended drinks, which is there's still espresso in it, there's still coffee in it, but it's sweeter. For people that are like, oh, I don't really like coffee, we offer those. And we do blended hot cocoa as well, which has no caffeine in it, no espresso. It's really sweet, it's really good. We offer just hot cocoa. And then we have smoothies now as well. We don't have them on our like big menu, but we're gonna try to push that pretty hard this summer and maybe look at expanding our hours into afternoon and evenings and doing like a special on smoothies. And then we get all our beans roasted here locally by Chase Coffee Company. They're over on Main Street, or not Main Street, Joplin Street. And right now we're using a Guatemalan bean, but we're gonna be switching that up to something with more like fruity taste to it for the summer. So that's kind of on the forecast here. But today we're more event focused. We started out kind of at that one location to try to get a customer base. Just try to get people to try our product, know where we are consistently, which is still something we kind of struggle with, which I'll mention. But now we're trying to really branch out, get events booked, weddings, festivals, parties, grand openings, and others. And since I've made this, I actually bought a bus that's been converted into a coffee shop. So that was a big step. I'm really excited for that. It's gonna allow more versatility because, as you can imagine, unhooking and hooking up a trailer with a really heavy espresso machine in it, it's not fun. Especially, yeah, I've got a little truck, and it works. It's fine. It's a good startup, but it'll be really nice to be able to just get in, turn on the bus, and go. So I literally, it's already been converted, but I don't have any equipment in it. It's just white right now. Looks pretty ugly, but I'm excited. I think it'll be really good. I think it's a really good next step, and with that, that's going to be our new event one, because I'm just going to keep the trailer parked over there and be able to take the bus to places for convenience. And we're also going to look at like maybe putting it in a set location as well, kind of like this was, and then move it for events, but probably focus that one more in Joplin. But we'll see. We've got a couple options there. So some of the difficulties, so I started out in December. It was snowing a lot. And you don't think about these things until you get out there and your water line's frozen and your machine froze and it's your opening day. Yeah, it's a mess. So there were a lot of mornings with like hair blow dryers. Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. I was very lucky with help and people being willing to come out there early before the sun was up. Help me figure it out. We figured out we need a little heater in there, which basically solved all the issues. But just getting water into a tank, and you have to have two different water supplies because the hand washing one isn't purified, and you have to be able to have water on the go, and so I had to have a separate tank for the espresso machine. It was a big learning experience for sure. And then right now we're I mentioned the air conditioner. It heats up so quick in there with that. The espresso machine is like a big heater. It emits so much heat, and that thing heats up so quick and it holds the heat. So I have a AC unit in there running, but it takes up a lot of space and it doesn't really cool off the area. It just brings cold air right where you are. The trailer itself doesn't really cool off, so that's still an issue we're trying to get over. And then communicating to like our customers about our location is also another big issue. We'll come back and people are like, we thought you closed up shop. It's like, no, we just had like 3 or 4 events, and like we post on our social media, but not everyone checks our social media page every single day, of course. So that's one of our biggest issues we're facing as well. So hopefully keeping that there will help out a lot, but with the bus, it'll be the same kind of issue there. And so I think the biggest way that you guys could help is like telling people about us. We haven't got a whole bunch of exposure because we started out in the winter, so there weren't that many events. But since we started doing more events, it's helped. But if you guys know a party planning committee, or you know someone that's in charge of hosting events, or church organizers, something like that, and they're looking for something unique, I don't know, just give us a recommendation. That would be huge. And if you like what you had, let people know what you got, what you liked about it. And then, yeah, I think social media is going to be our best form of communication. So just in sharing our posts, if you see we're going to be gone, or liking our page is all good as well. So that's all I've got for the slides.
All right, good job. So. floor for questions about coffee. So who's first?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mason, when did you open your business?
It was in December of 2021.
Okay, so not very,
Not
yeah.
very long, yeah.
And then what does your help look like? Like who's helping you? Like what's
Right.
that look like?
Yeah, so right now I've got someone that I actually went to school with that helps me. So when I was in school, I had one class 5 days a week after I already decided to open. And no one wants to come in for a 2-hour shift. So that was kind of a pain, but it's better now because I'm taking all online classes next semester. But I've got someone that comes in if I'm sick or if she's sick. I mean, it helps. And then events, it's really tough to do with just one person, especially in that small of a trailer. It's hard to keep up with. Like if someone says, hey, we want to have an event we just want you here an hour, but we want 60 drinks. I mean, in that small of an area, especially with one person, you just can't do it. So 2 people helps. The bus will help because there's so much more room. And yeah, cold brew as well is gonna help out a lot because that's gonna be a quick way to make drinks, iced drinks. I didn't mention that really, I'm sorry I forgot, because I decided to do that afterwards, but we're gonna start selling cold brew as well, just a concentrate. So back there we had, the one on the left was cold brew concentrate with water, and the one on the right was concentrate with milk. But we would just sell the concentrate itself in mason jars, so people can take it home and make it how they want. Because some people like it sweeter, stronger, that'll allow some versatility there, but yeah.
So at your trailer where you've got it parked, do you have consistent hours all the time?
Yes, yeah, so, weekdays, we're there from 6:30 to 11. We were open longer, but after 11, there's like next to no customers. And like I said, we're thinking about doing afternoon and evenings for smoothies, because I mean, there's not really a smoothie shop on this side of town, so I think that would be cool. And the weekends, it's from 7:30 to 1. And all that's on our social media. We've got our address posted as well.
So when you're looking at the events that you're wanting to do and all of that, what is the foot traffic that you're looking to have at those events so that when we see them out and about, that we could maybe push you towards? What are you looking for there?
Yeah, so that's something I'm still really trying to figure out, because each event is so different. Like there's so many factors that go into it, whether they want to pay for the people's drinks or they just want us there for the people to buy their own. The duration of it, it really is just like a basis by basis thing. So minimum, we want to sell like at least 40 drinks. I mean, that's a good way for us to make sure it's worth our time to even go, because we'll sell that many at our location. I kind of have to abandon our location to go out. So if we can sell at least 40 drinks, that's ideal. So
Within how long of a period of time?
I mean, 2 to 3 hours is a good, I mean, we can make like a full menu, we can make about 40 drinks in an hour and a half, and that's like non-stop the entire time, which we did for a school. But we could do that 2.5 hours pretty comfortably. But yeah, I mean, if we know we can sell at least 40 drinks, that's worth the shot. But I mean, honestly, if there's a big event, there's gonna be a decent foot traffic, it's worth the risk this early on, because I wanna get out there and I want people to know about us, and so it's okay if we don't make great money, especially serving out.
Real quick. And what about radius, especially like once you get the bus up and running, what is your territory gonna be?
So we have set, like we have a pamphlet with like pricing and stuff, and our price is gonna differ based on the location. So I mean, we were gonna go to Anderson, they had a school, but I mean, we had to charge like $100 setup fee because I have to pay my employee to travel, gas is expensive, it's a diesel. So, we'll travel, but they're just gonna have to charge a setup fee for those events. And I mean, if they're willing to pay for it, that's fine, but most people probably won't be.
Have you thought about, I don't know, I couldn't hear all of what you were just saying about foot traffic and how much you can do, but have you thought about maybe contacting some, supervisors of different, corporate centers around the area and set up like go to Leggett and Platt and do, like an employee appreciation day or something like that, or like a quarterly thing, or just on a special occasion, just reach out to somebody at one of those corporate centers, Freeman Corporate Center, Leggett, Platt would be a great place. Just go in there and say, hey, we'll set up either, charge them a flat, fee or price, or, have have the employee, whatever they decide
Right.
to do.
That's
But
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I mean, the farthest I've really gone with that right now is I've reached out to wedding venues, event centers, which I think, I mean, we've gotten some recommendations off that alone, but that's a really good idea about different big businesses. Yeah, thank you.
You might check out Food Truck Friday in Carthage as well, if you haven't.
Yeah, yeah, I need to. I bought the bus and I'm gonna have to get it all tagged and licensed and all that stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out what I wanna dedicate my time to right now. Food Truck Friday, I've heard great things though. I think that would be.
I think it would be a good way if you brought your trailer, just again, to increase your awareness.
Right.
It's not during your time that you're open, so
Yeah.
it would be, an extra opportunity.
Yeah, well, the trailer, so I've heard you have to stay there the whole time, and the trailer's so small that I mean, I can put like, I don't know, 6 to 8 gallons of milk in there, which, I mean, it seems like a lot, but when you're pulling out, I mean, 12 ounces.
I understand.
So, yeah, I really need to do it, and I think the bus will be a great way to be able to do that for capacity.
So what, on Facebook, is it Nomad Brew?
Yeah, I think it's Nomad Brew LLC. I
Okay,
think that's the tag.
that would be my first thing is when I was gonna like your page, and when I looked up Nomad Brew, there's other companies named Nomad Brew. So you
Okay.
have to make sure that people can find you on Facebook,
Right.
because I was struggling. But the other thing is, with your social media, I always watch people that have really good social media pages. One of my favorites, Joplin Greenhouse.
Yeah.
To see how they grow their Facebook, because social media in a pinch is where you can get people moving really quickly.
Right.
So, doing a lot of like Facebook Lives, things like that. If you watch Joplin Greenhouse's page, they've grown theirs huge
Right.
quickly. I mean, lately they've got some really movers and shakers
They're
working.
awesome, yeah.
They are, and they've done a good job on social media. So watching their page and learning,
Okay, yeah,
um,
that's good,
because you could really, I mean, social media can make your business.
sure. Yeah, that's good, thank you.
You do the giveaways also.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so, I mean, one giveaway we're doing right now is, every drink you buy from now through the end of June is at entry. And then at the end of the month, we'll draw a ticket, and the winner will get free coffee for the month of July. So I think that's a pretty good one. And we also do a rewards program where you buy 9 drinks, you get your 10th one free. But we've got both of those going on right now.
Still got time for one more.
Couple questions, on that last conversation you just had. I might suggest put a QR code right at your window. So your regular customers that come in
Yeah.
actually say, hey, pull your camera out and just scan that.
Okay.
To connect them and just have them saved. That way you're, at least with your loyal customers, you're communicating with them so you don't miss them if you
That way
happen
they
to be
know where
gone.
we are, yeah, that's good.
And then the second thing is, great presentation. And as a brand new entrepreneur, share with me the most surprising good thing you've experienced and the most challenging thing you've experienced so far.
Yeah, that's good. I think the best thing is being able to make my own schedule. Like if something pops up, I can be like, text my helper, be like, hey, are you available to come in? I know it's last minute. They're like, yeah. It's like, that's nice. It's good to have flexibility with your schedule. I'd say that's definitely the best thing. The worst is no time on your schedule. Yeah, it's like, you plan, I'm like, man, I'm only gonna be up until 11, that'll be great, I'll have my afternoons, and it's like, not the case at all. There's so much to do, and it's great, I love it, and when it's your own product, it's easier to do. It's easier to work longer hours when it's something you're passionate about. If it were my employee, no way they'd want to do it, but like, since it's mine, it's my baby, like, I love doing it, so. But that's definitely been a downfall, is lack of just time, but it's been good, I love it.
Well, thank you.
I just have one thing. I, in grad school, did a whole business development on tea, not coffee, but similar. But you're hitting on something, you probably haven't realized it yet because you're very young and in growth mode and focused on one thing. But the brand that you're building has the potential to scale out. Small communities like Carl Junction and Seneca, where I live, and across the whole country, don't have a good coffee shop. A lot of times the buildings aren't right for it, there's no good drive-through, and so the brand that you're building and the opportunity is much bigger than what you're doing right now. So you're solving a lot of problems and figuring out the best way to build out a truck, the most efficient way to do coffee on the go. If you look at a business called Kona Ice, they did the exact same thing, and they created the ultimate snow cone machine, and now they've scaled nationally. They have all kinds of success. They built out a really small brand and made it huge. So what you're doing has the potential. I would encourage you to stick with the small town theme. If you go big and get into Joplin and then Springfield, you're gonna get swallowed by the monsters. But nobody looks at a town like Carl Junction or Seneca and says, hey, I bet we could put a big coffee shop there. And so the benefit you have is that you're mobile. I would think in terms of scale and everything that you do, if you haven't started a Google Drive yet, I would create a Google Drive and record yourself making every recipe, so that when you bring on the next employee, you just turn them loose on the Google Drive. If they don't know how to make something, they pull it up on their phone. The rule is you watch the video first, and if you still can't figure it out, I'll help you. And so do everything in terms of scale as you go, because there will be other people where you can sell a franchise in Seneca and say, yeah, here it is, this is how you do it, this is how we built the truck, this is why. And so you have the potential to do something really interesting here in the long term, so I would approach it that way.
Awesome, thank you so much.